Hi, my name is Suzanne Nieves. I'm with the Training and Outreach team. I'm a training and outreach developer with the Housing Authority of Santa Clara County. Welcome to the Section 8 program. I would like to start off by congratulating you on receiving your assistance. This is a briefing information session where hopefully you'll get a lot of answers to any questions that you may have. When we are closed to the public, this is how we conduct our briefings. In the event that we have a closure, we'd like you to come online and view this session. Okay, we're going to get started. So, basics to do, please sign in, but you're not coming into the Housing Authority, so you do not need to sign in at the front desk. Hopefully you will listen to the entire session for your Housing Choice Voucher. If you were here during a live briefing, you would have to stay for the entire session, but here online, we hope that you do stay. If you need a reasonable accommodation or a translation, please contact your specialist. Today we're going to cover a lot of different things: tenant responsibility, owner responsibility, SCA responsibility, general information on informal reviews and hearings. Also general information, just some numbers and websites for fair housing laws and information. So our mission here at the Housing Authority is to provide and inspire affordable housing solutions to enable low-income individuals in Santa Clara County to achieve financial stability and self-reliance. Our overview about the Housing Authority, Santa Clara County Housing Authority. We are funded by HUD, which is Department of Housing and Urban Development. Local oversight provided by the Board of Commissioners and SCA executive team. Housing Department manager and supervisors. We have specialists and assistants. And of course, we have participants in the special programs and participants with the Housing Choice Voucher. What's the difference, right, between a special program and a Housing Choice Voucher? Well, the difference is that if you came on through the wait list or interest list, you probably had to wait quite a while. If you came in through a direct referral because of a special program, then you bypass the interest list and the wait list. Selling points for a program. We have a dedicated number and team to support questions for our owners. It's called the Owner Services Department. And we have Client Services Department. They are here to answer questions for clients. So we have one number and team dedicated to owner services, and the second team dedicated to client services. These individuals answering the phones, and when you come into the office, they are not clerical support. They are housing program specialists. They have all actually had caseloads. And they know the paperwork, they know the policies, and they know the processes. Section 8 overview. Section 8 helps eligible families pay rent. Tenants pay a portion of their rent, usually about 30% of their income, and then we pay the rest. How applicants get a Section 8 voucher? We just discussed that, either the interest list or referred by case management. Road to housing. If you do not remember anything else, remember what the RFTA is. RFTA is Request for Tenancy Approval. That is the form that's going to get your unit inspected. Do we give multiple requests for tenancy approvals? No, we do not. We only give one at a time. We want to make sure that you want to rent the unit and that the owner or property manager would like to rent to you as well. Once that's established, you have them fill out the form, bring it back to the Housing Authority, And then from there, we're going to see what contract rent they're requesting, and we're going to make sure that's a reasonable amount. We have a rent reasonableness app that leaves not a lot of room for human error. We're going to input numbers such as square footage. We are going to input the amenities, and then the app will go ahead and calculate the amount that we can offer. We also, the first year that you're in your unit, we don't want a contract rent that is so high that you are paying more than 40% of your income towards your rent. So we're going to establish that from the get-go. Housing quality standards, we want to make sure that the unit passes our inspection. Owner and family sign lease agreement. Owner and SCA sign housing assistance payment. Move in. I suggest you do not move in unless you really have to. Do not move in before the inspection passes. Because if you move in before the inspection passes, you are going to be fully responsible for the full contract rent until the unit passes inspection. Full contract rent, meaning not your portion, but the actual contract rent. And that could be quite substantial. We all have different relationships with each other, and they're all binded by a form that we sign. So the owner and SCA, we have the HAP contract, the Housing Authority Payment Contract. SCA and the tenant, we have the voucher that binds us. The tenant and the owner, you all have a lease. Housing Choice Voucher. This is so important. This is your Housing Choice Voucher. This is how it looks. You're going to see that it's going to show you your unit size, issue date, and expiration date. Initial vouchers expire after 120 calendar days. You have 4 months to look for a unit and provide us the RFTA, request for tenancy approval. If you need an extension before, you must put that request to us. You must request it before your voucher expires. The first request, you will get 60-day extension. The second request, you have to provide extenuating circumstances, documented extenuating circumstances. And your third request, it has to be a reasonable accommodation. So first request, you just request it. Second request, provide verification of extenuating circumstances. Third request, request a reasonable accommodation. This form, you'll see in your packet, it's going to also remind you, hey, your voucher is going to expire on this day. We don't want your voucher to expire because once your voucher expires, you are done with the program. You are no longer going to be assisted by us. There are many different areas that you can rent in Santa Clara County. There are 16 different cities within Santa Clara County. So you have so many options. If you would like to port out, you can practice portability. And what that is when you move to another county. Now, not everybody is approved for that the first year. The reason why not everyone is approved is because if you joined our interest list and you did not live in Santa Clara County, you have to lease up here in Santa Clara County and stay for a year. If you were a Santa Clara County resident when you were on the interest list, then you may be able to port out right when you receive your voucher. Porting out is a great benefit, but you want to make sure wherever you're porting to, that you actually like the housing authority and you know their rules and it's someplace that you would like to live. If you're staying here in Santa Clara County, here are some options for you. Make sure if something looks too good to be true, it might be. So you may want to really check it out and make sure that it's a legit deal. Potential benefits of living in a higher income area: higher quality housing, increased job opportunities, better schools, improved access to convenient shopping, better public services, lower crime. So there's a lot for you to consider. Portability. So this is what we kind of touched upon a little earlier. If you want to move out of the area after the initial term of your lease, submit a written 30-day notice to move to your owner. So this is if you weren't new to the program. Since you are new to the program, or if you are new to the program, if you were a resident of Santa Clara County when you registered on the waiting list, you may be able to move to another county without using your voucher here, as I stated earlier. So you have to ask to exercise your portability and see if you are approved. Earlier, I stated it has to be someplace that you are sure you want to go. You want to make sure that the subsidy standards there are somewhere or something that you like, something that you feel that you can live with. You want to ask different questions to make sure, because it is a big move, moving out of the county. Owner tenant SCA responsibilities. Owner, they need to provide a safe and decent housing with a reasonable rent. They also need to screen the tenants. We do not screen the tenants for their property. They need to ensure the unit can pass inspection. They need to notify us of any changes in the term of the lease, or if they're requesting a rent increase. The rent increase has to be approved by the housing authority. They cannot use the unit for any of their personal items, and they cannot rent to relatives. Tenant responsibility. Find a place to live that is suitable, take care of the unit, comply with the terms of the lease, comply with family obligations on the voucher, attend all scheduled appointments, real important. Report all changes of income, report all changes of family comp. Those changes must be in writing. Provide us with complete and accurate information. If you want to add someone to your contract, let us know so we can go ahead and add them. Who can be added to your contract? If you are a head of household and you would like to add a spouse or a boyfriend or girlfriend, you can add them. You can request to add them. They have to go through the application process. You can also add an adult child who is disabled or elderly. You can add a parent who is disabled or elderly. Our responsibilities are to pay the owner directly, conduct unit inspections, and enforce housing quality standards. Check family income, check family composition, and go over your family obligations with you. Lease-up process. RFTA, request for tenancy approval. What's in the packet? Fill out this packet to start the process. It's going to have the RFTA and unit amenities form, legal owner and payment information, IRS W-9, direct deposit form, lead disclosure form, and owner certification. It's a packet. It has a lot of information for your landlord. They're going to make the choice. Do they want to come and drop it off? Do they want you to come and drop it off? Or they can send it by email, or they could send it by mail. This is how the RFTA packet looks. There's only one little area that the tenant has to fill out, basically sign and date on this form. Legal owner and payment information. We want to know who the legal owner is. We want to know who that legal owner wants us to pay. Agent authorization. If they have someone that is going to act on their behalf, they need to put that person here on the agent authorization form. W-9, they need to fill out the W-9 because the IRS, they need to know exactly how much money we are paying this property owner monthly. Direct deposit form, if they would like to have their rent direct deposit, then they can go ahead and fill out this form. It's very easy. Owner and co-owner certification. This is where they're going to say, hey, this person is not related to me. And also this form says, hey, I will not put my belongings in the subsidized unit. There's a lot of different things that it says, but those are the two main ones. This is the information, how they can submit their RFTA packet. They can mail it. They can email it. And if we are close to the public, they can go ahead and drop it off at our drop box in the front. If we are open to the public, they can walk on in and drop it off to the front desk. RFTA at scchousingauthority.org. That is our email address for all RFTAs only. Informal hearings, reviews, fair housing, important information sources. So if you feel that you have been wrongfully terminated or you're going to be wrongfully terminated, you have the right to appeal. You have 15 days from the day you receive the letter, and you need to put your request in writing. Fair housing. If you have a fair housing complaint, you can go ahead and call 1-800-669-9777, or you can go online and fill out a form. Tenants' rights. Here is a website that you can go on. Also, our coordinator here, Tui Valera, she's our 504 coordinator. She's also our assistant director, and this is her number, 408-275-8770. The 504 coordinator assures compliance with Americans with Disability Act. And we are closed every other Friday, so just keep that in mind. Affordability. Okay, our payment standards, they change. They change almost yearly. These are our current ones, 2023. 1 bedrooms, 2088, 2 bedrooms, 3030, 3 bedrooms, 3863, and so on, okay? If you are wanting to keep your portion of rent at 30% of your income, then you're going to go ahead and look for something around 2588. Now, if you're a flash client, okay, the calculation's a little different because we also consider utilities. So you're going to be looking for something a little bit less, but you need to talk to your specialist about that and just kind of have a good understanding with them as to how much you're supposed to be looking for. If you are just a regular Housing Choice Voucher participant, then this applies to you. 1 bedroom, if you're looking for something at $25.88, that means you're going to be paying 30% of your income towards that rent. If you have income and you are able to go above the payment standard, you can pay up to 40% of your income towards your rent, but not more than that in that first initial term of the year. So if you look for something that is $25.88, you're going to be paying about 30% of your income. If you look for something that's on the maximum allowable contract rent flyer, then you will be paying more. So you will have to make a decision. I only want to pay 30% of my income towards my rent. I'm going to look for something around $2,588. You know what? This other unit, it's $2,700, and my maximum allowable contract rent says I can rent something about $2,700. I'm going to go ahead and try it out because I know that I won't be paying anything above 40% of my income towards my rent. So that's something you have to decide. Now, this is our calculation. We're not going to get real deep into this calculation because we figure all this out for you. But what I do want you to remember, I want you to remember payment standard. Do I want to stay at 30% of my income towards my rent? Or do I want to go to maximum allowable contract rent where I might have a little bit of a nicer unit, but I'm going to be paying more? So that's really important. You need to have those two things basically in your mind when you're looking for a unit. Rent reasonableness, again, we want to make sure that we do not inflate the rents and that we are not having Section 8 clients pay more, or the Section 8 program pay more for the contract rent than the open market. We do this by comparing your units, similar market rate units in the area. Again, it's done by an app. We don't go to the newspaper. I don't know if anybody goes to the newspaper any longer, if the newspaper even exists. We used to do that before. Don't do that anymore. And we don't even take comps just from the internet. We actually have this really cool app that we use, and it leaves not too much room for human error. So rent reasonableness, we're going to input all this information, and that would be it basically. Then the app does a little spin and tells us, yes, we can approve, or no, we can't. Housing quality standards, we want to make sure that you guys are safe, that the unit's move-in ready. Inspections happen every 2 years once that initial year, once that initial inspection is completed. Only certified inspectors go out. The inspector expects to see that all utilities are working, smoke and CO2 detectors work on each level, all windows can be locked, electrical outlets are working, stove and refrigerator are in place and operable, and if there are any repairs that are needed, we will go ahead, give the owner 10 days to repair the items, and then go back and do another inspection. That's why I say it's very important that you do not move in before the unit passes inspection, because you will be responsible up until that unit passes inspection. HAP contract, so execution of housing assistance payment. SCAL generates HAP contract and mandatory lease information form and sends to the owner. SCAL offers e-signature with a valid email for both owner and tenant. So we do have this capability that we use very often. E-signature, it's pretty cool. Owner returns the signed HAP contract, signed mandatory lease, and the signed lease agreement. Execution of the housing assistance payment and contract. Once a year, owners may request a rent increase. The rent increase has to be received 60 days before, or it has to be received, excuse me, they have to give us a 60-day notice, and no sooner than 120 days. They must specify the rent amount. The letter must be addressed to the tenant, CC to the housing authority, must be dated. Program benefits. Bonus payment for new owners. That's another selling point. Hey, I'm on the Section 8 program, and they will give you $1,500 if you have never rented to Section 8 before. If you have rented to Section 8, we have a loyalty payment. And that's if they are re-renting, and the re-renting must occur within 90 days of the last Section 8 participant vacating the unit. What's another selling point? We will pay our portion monthly. And we are done. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, contact your housing program specialist. They will be more than happy to answer them. It's been great. I'm excited for you, and good luck on your new journey.